On behalf of the young men and leaders of Troop 16, welcome to this Eagle Scout Court of Honor. I'd like to welcome Father John Spicer, Rector of St. Andrew's Episcopal Church, who will lead us in the invocation. Please rise.
It's a joy to get to be with you. Thank you for being here for this very important day and a great renewal of this day. So we'll begin by giving thanks. Let us pray. God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as family, friends, leaders, and scouts on this significant day in the lives of these young men. Today is a celebration of a journey full of challenges, friendship, struggles, and fun. Today we think of the merit badges earned along the way, the oaths taken, the character these young men have developed, and the service to our community that they've worked so hard to offer. Little by little, month by month, and year by year, they were faithful, and we celebrate their commitment and their hard work. So we ask your blessing on these new Eagles, as well as their families who supported and encouraged them, and their fellow scouts who helped them along the way. Bless the leaders and scouts at Troop 16, and all those who are here physically or in spirit. Continue to walk with these young men as they take this step today, and as they continue along their journey in becoming the people you desire them to be. Amen.
Thank you, Father John. And if everyone would please remain standing for the presentation of colors. And the new Eagle Scouts can come in too. And their families. All right, I want three of you on this side. One on each side. Two on the other side. There you go. Wait until you're one of the other side. Go ahead, Jacob. All right, back behind the table.
Scouts, please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Taylor, hit the white.
There are 3 parts of the Scout Oath that are important to all Scouts. A Scout has a duty to God and his country. A scout has a duty to other people. A scout has a duty to himself. Please be seated. The guiding principle for all scouts are found in the Scout Law. Troop 16's Eagle Scouts will now guide us through the 12 points that help us every day.
A scout is trustworthy.
A scout is loyal.
A scout is helpful.
A scout is friendly.
A scout is courteous.
A scout is kind.
A scout is obedient.
A scout is cheerful.
A scout is thrifty.
A scout is brave.
A scout is clean.
A scout is reverent.
Well, once again, good afternoon, and thank you for being with us today. In addition to a number of friends and family I see from, I haven't seen in a little while, we also have a special guest with us today. I see Casey Halsey, Chieftain Quaking Cottonwood, and a Troop 16 parent with us today, so welcome, Casey. Troop 16 was founded at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church 99 years ago, in 1922. Over the next 70 years, Troop 16 produced 285 Eagle Scouts. The last of those Eagle Scouts was honored in 1992 when Troop 16 went dormant. 11 years later, in 2003, 7 scouts, Cub Scouts and Mr. Olander crossed over from Pac 16 and Troop 16 was reborn. Today, 18 years later, Troop 16 has 76 members, and Pac 16 has more than 60 Cub Scouts. Our program is very healthy. As a quick aside, and for those of you with more than a passing interest in mathematics, you may have calculated that next year will be our 100th anniversary. We'll be doing some very fun and celebratory things to surround that milestone, so please pay attention in the months to come. This is the 28th Eagles Court of Honor since Troop 16 was reestablished in 2003, and with this ceremony, 116 boys will have achieved the rank of Eagle Scout in what we call the modern era. As it is with all Boy Scouts, history and tradition are very important to the boys of Troop 16. Every Troop 16 who has earned the rank of Eagle Scout has received their Eagle badge here in this building. And their names are all on the Eagle board, which resides outside the sanctuary, and you can see that after the ceremony today. Today, we will celebrate by adding 5 more names to that plaque, recognizing Troop 16's 397th, 398th, 399th, 400th, and 401st Eagle Scouts. At this time, I'd like Taylor and his mother Kendall, Will and his mother Chris, Peter and his mother Libby, Luke and his mother Ann, and Jacob and his mother Ellen to please come forward. There are 5 special people here this afternoon who have been instrumental in Taylor, Will, Peter, Luke, and Jacob's pursuit in earning the rank of Eagle Scout. These 5 people are their mothers, Kendall, Chris, Libby, Ann, and Ellen. They've been honored at every court of honor as their sons have progressed on the trail to Eagle, and as a symbol of thanks to help your mothers, we've provided, please give your mother a bouquet. All right, thank you. Please be seated. I'd now like to ask Eagle Scout Bill Bell to come to the podium for a few comments about the rank of Eagle Scout.
Hello. Thank you all so much for allowing me to speak. Chris, thank you for asking. I talk sometimes rather softly, so raise your hand if you can't hear me in the back. Okay. So when Mr. Pantanius asked me to talk to you all today about what it means to be an Eagle Scout, I couldn't help but think back to the time when I was 15 or so, and I went through my own Eagle Court of Honor. It's a little embarrassing to say now, but I have to confess, mostly I did the whole thing to frustrate my mother. She she didn't like the Boy Scouts very much. And she could never figure out why in the world I would want to camp out. It was beyond her understanding. But what I didn't know when I was a sassy, passive-aggressive teenager, or understand then, was that being an Eagle Scout is an honor that follows you around the rest of your life, reminding you to be prepared, do a good turn for someone every day, and do the right thing even when it is not convenient. That's what it means to be an Eagle Scout. Now, unlike all the other trophies that you may have earned when you're a kid, the Eagle Scout Award never goes away. It's always with you. It's always something that you can hold close to your heart. I always tell people, I was in the Boy Scouts when I was a kid, but I am an Eagle Scout. Notice the present tense. When you apply for a job, resumes that say Eagle Scout somehow mysteriously make their way to the top of the pile. Now, as members of this, for lack of a better word, fraternity, You've shown that you know how to lead other people, how to overcome challenges, how to move with humble determination to get the job done. There's a certain amount of responsibility that comes with this award. When a fire needs to be started or a knot needs to be tied, heads will turn to you. Seldom a day goes by when I don't practice something I first learned as a Boy Scout. It's actually the truth. Some of the stuff you learned in merit badge class, like merit badges like first aid and life-saving, can come in really, really handy later in life. But undoubtedly more importantly, the friendships that I have made and you have made in scouting can be even more lasting and even more wonderful. All right, so as you probably know, many Eagle Scouts go on to do some pretty cool things. To paraphrase Adam Sandler, we've got Gerald Ford, Steven Spielberg, and even Ewan Kaufman. Harrison Ford and Bill Gates, they didn't make the cut. But most are people like me. We're not famous, but we're successful in our own way, leading companies, families, and communities. All right, now for some more numbers. You may have heard some of this before when Mr. Banks spoke, but we're going to repeat a little bit, okay, because it's pretty cool. Just 4% of boys who join Scouts make it all the way to Eagle. 4%. Okay, I think that must include Cub Scouts, right? Yes? Okay. Now what's interesting is that it happens even more consistently here in Kansas City than anywhere else in the country. For nearly 60 years, we've had the highest percentage of Eagle Scouts per capita in the nation. And Troop 16 has contributed greatly to this percentage. As you just heard, we currently have more than 400 Eagle Scouts in Troop 16. Years ago, we began handing out the Eagle notebooks to Life Scouts. You'll have probably seen them, right? And of the 151 Scouts who have received these notebooks, only 8 have aged out or dropped out. All the rest have gone on to become Eagle Scouts. Today, we have 22 Life Scouts who are currently in pursuit of their Eagle Scout, including my son, Adam Bell. This means Troop 16 has a 94% conversion rate. I'm just making up a business term there. Among Life Scouts who get that notebook. It's not too shabby. This is a testament not only to your hard work, guys, but also to the troop's adult leaders like Morgan, Mr. Banks, Mr. Pantanius, and your parents, especially your mom. I want to emphasize that point. Now, the troop I grew up in had a policy. We had to give our moms a hug and a kiss whenever we ranked up. So without further ado, and in my script here I wrote this morning, it says awkward pause. Come on, let's go. And what we would always say is that we were never ashamed to show the world that we love our moms, okay? Moms are better than dads, by the way. Okay. All right. But for the values of scouting, which we say all the time when we say the Scout Oath and Law, are important whether you make it to Eagle or not. But for those of you who do become Eagle Scouts, these values will remain especially important to you personally. Think about them when you're stopped at a stoplight or before you go to bed at night. Run through the list. Ask yourself, how am I doing? Am I living up to these words? It's kind of hard. Try to keep the Scout Oath and Law. People will always be watching you and expecting you to be prepared. Do a good turn daily. Sorry. And do the right thing, even when it is not convenient, even when no one else is watching. Remember that one. So we have plenty of good examples in the nave here for you to follow. Will all the Eagle Scouts present please stand up? and remain standing. Okay. So starting at the front here with Mr. Lacy, if you would please, tell us your name, your troop number, where you received your Eagle Scout Award, and the year.
Peter Lacy, Group 16, 1984. Taylor Lacy, Group 16, 2011. Peter Bode, Troop 16, 2020. David Manning, Troop 16, 2020. Bill Calvich, Troop 16, 2020. Troop 160, 1974. David Banks, Troop 192, 1986. Bode, Troop 16, 2020. John Holland, Troop 123, approximately 86.
I think he wins, everybody. Let's have a round of applause. And I'm Bill Bell, Troop 220 in Lee Summit, Missouri, and I got my Eagle Scout in 1983. So thank you all so much. It's been a real honor to speak to you today. Thank you. Mr. Pantanius, will you please come forward for the next part of the program?
Thank you, Mr. Bell, for those very true and inspiring comments. Now we will take a few moments of reflection with each Eagle, recalling a memory to share and some words of appreciation to those who provided assistance along the way. After the ceremony, please join us across the street at HJ's Community Center to view each Scout's display tables and a few refreshments and enjoy some of their commemorations to their Scouting experience. We'll get started with Taylor Lacy. Would you please approach the podium?
Hi, I'm Taylor Lacy. Thank you for everyone who supported me along the way, especially my parents and everyone who supported my Eagle project to make a Gaga ball pit, my grandmother and my cousins. Probably my favorite memory was throwing mud at each other inside a lake on a camp out. And my advice for all the younger scouts is probably just stick with it and don't try to rush through requirements because you have fun eventually.
Thank you, Taylor. I think I was at that camp out when said mud fight ensued. All right, next we would like to invite Will Calvich to come up and share a few comments about his Eagle experience. Yeah. Do you want to be up here? Okay, sure.
I want to thank everyone taking the time to join us for this Eagle Scout Court of Honor. I've been involved in scouting since I was an Indian guide in kindergarten at Visitation. I joined Troop 16 in 2014, and that was one of the best decisions I've ever made. This troop has the nicest people and leaders I have ever met. It took 13 years for me to achieve the rank of Eagle Scout. Every year I've learned has something new and had great experiences. We camped at the salt mines, Air National Guard, the Cosmosphere, and too many places is to mention. At Bartle, we told jokes, listened to ghost stories, learned about animals, gun safety, camping, tribe of Mickasay, hiking to Ico for some knee-high, and up to the point to look at the lake. I volunteered at least a dozen Eagle projects, and it was always an honor to help. 17 fellow Eagle Scouts and a lot of their dads drove over an hour to come help work on the Indian cemetery for my Eagle project. The support was overwhelming. And it's that kind of help that has been here throughout all of my years with Troop 16. I could not have reached this achievement without it. I would like to thank all my friends for helping me get it through and making it fun. The Desjardins family, he and the descendants for trusting me to work on their ancestors' cemetery. Mr. Nancy Day for believing in me and advocating for my Eagle project to be recognized. My parents for helping me achieve Eagle Scout project and keeping me going required badges. My sister Audrey for discovering the Indian Cemetery project for me. My grandpa, Uncle Russ, my cousin Jeff, who is an Eagle Scout, my cousin Tyler, who is also an Eagle Scout, for helping with the hardest work of my Eagle project for coming today. And finally, all of my leaders for their guidance and encouragement. I won't list all of you because I'm afraid I'll get to say a name, and you've all been amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will. Very well said. Next, I would like to invite Peter Bode to come up.
Hi, I'm Peter Bode. Thank you everyone for being here. First, I'd like to say thank you to my parents for helping me my whole journey through scouting and helping me get to my merit badge academies and to the campouts. And thank you to all the Scoutmasters for helping me through my requirements and putting on the campouts. And to the Troop 16 Scouts, the friendships that I've made over my years, they mean a lot to me, and I won't forget the memories. And my favorite memory is at Camp Bartle when we went to the point, just looking out over the water and just hanging out with my friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Next, we'd like to invite Luke Holliday to come up and share a few words.
All right, so first off, my favorite memory was learning how to do jumps at Snow Creek and ride rails, yeah. And then the people I'd like to thank are both my parents, forcing me to go to the meetings and, helping me get my merit badges done in my Eagle project. Next, I'd like to thank my aunt and uncle for helping me cross the finish line with my Eagle stuff. Love you guys. I'd also like to thank my grandparents for their moral support, my sister, I guess. And last of all, I'd like to thank the boys of Troop 16 for making this one of the best associations in the country. Yeah.
Hear, hear. And last, but certainly not least, I'd like to invite my son, Jacob Pantanius, to come up and share a few words.
All right, so I'm going to start with one of my favorite memories from scouting. So this was maybe my second year in scouting at Camp Bartle, and I remember we just completed an Eagle project or a service project, so we had these carts sitting out that you could pull around that we used to pull stone. And I went with my friend Langston up to the top of the hill with that cart. And I rode all the way down that hill on the cart, sitting on it and using the, the puller as the steering wheel. And I remember as I was cruising back into our campsite, Mr. Olander just so happened to be walking out at the same time. And I started to slow down. I saw Mr. Olander. I was freaking out. I was like, no, no, no. And if you know Mr. Olander, you know he's someone that you don't want to make angry. So as I slowly came to a stop, he was looking at me dead in the eyes, and I was expecting one of the worst punishments of my life. But he just looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" And then he did sort of like a movement like, "Get out of here." And I was freaked out and I ran off. All right, so I want to thank my mom for keeping me in scouting, because there were definitely some times where I was thinking about quitting, but I'm really glad that I stuck with it, because I've made a lot of friends in scouting and it's a really unique experience. And I also want to thank my dad for also helping me stay in scouting and serving as a scout master too, because I know it's a really big responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob, for those honest and, and forthright comments. We all know or maybe have the reluctant scout in our family, and we're very proud of you today. Next, I would like to invite Taylor Lacy and his parents to please join me on stage. Yeah. Come up so you guys can see me a little better. As many of you are aware, summer camp offers scouts a great opportunity to earn both rank advancements and merit badges. It also offers a lot of fun distractions from typical scouting activities. In this case, playing Gaga Ball. What is Gaga Ball, you ask? Well, the game is essentially a variant of dodgeball whereby players dodge, strike, run, and jump with the objective of being the last person standing, all within an octagonal pit. Turns out Taylor was quite good at this game, maybe a little too good. At any point during our stay at camp, if we couldn't find where Taylor was, we knew where to look, the Gaga Ball pit. So it was only fitting that when it came time for Taylor to begin his Eagle Scout project, that he wanted to build a Gaga Ball pit for the youth at Ozanam. For those who may not be familiar with this organization, Ozanam provides educational, mental, and behavioral health services, as well as foster care and adoption services for youth in Kansas City. Taylor shared that as soon as he put the finishing touches on the new Gaga Ball pit, a group of kids immediately began playing their first game. And no doubt, they received some excellent pointers from a seasoned expert. Taylor started out as a Weeblo with Pack 4888. He crossed over in the Arrow of Light ceremony to Troop 16, and he has been a valued member ever since. Taylor served Troop 16 as an assistant patrol leader, and quartermaster. His favorite leadership role was patrol leader, but he also enjoyed leading scouts in the completion of his Eagle Scout project. He has earned 24 merit badges. He is brave prowling bat in the tribe of Mickasay. Taylor also comes from a long line of Eagle Scouts and Mickasay tribesmen. He is third-generation Eagle Scout and fourth-generation tribesman in Mickasay. On top of that, his father and his uncle are both Eagle Scouts in Troop 16. So, no pressure, Taylor, when you have a family of your own. Taylor balances scouting with competitive baseball, but he has always found time for monthly campouts, summer camp, as well as hiking in Colorado and visiting many of our nation's national parks with his family. I'm now going to present Taylor and his parents with his Eagle Neckerchief, badge, and accompanying pins. So we have pinned a mother pin, the father's pin, and now Mrs. Lacy has just pinned the Eagle Scout pin on Taylor. We also have a mentor pin, and I'm going to present this to Taylor to give to a special someone who's helped you get here today. With the neckerchief in place and the eagle patch in hand, Taylor Lacy is the 397th Eagle Scout in Troop 16. Congratulations. You can take your seat. I would now like to invite Will Calvich and his parents to please join me on stage. One of the many Troop 16 traditions at summer camp is telling a few good jokes. Will would patiently wait to hear a few, all the while getting warmed up himself. Eventually, it would be Will's turn, and that's typically where it would end, because no one could follow his wit or his deadpan delivery. He'd have the entire troop rolling in laughter, look around with satisfaction, no doubt thinking, my work is done here. In all seriousness, Will has been a huge part of the Troop 16 family over the years. He rarely, if ever, has missed a troop activity to the level of it would feel just a bit off if Will was not present. This summer will be Will's 7th year at camp. Now I like to think of myself as a pretty positive guy, but let's face it, not every camp out is 72 degrees and sunny. No matter what any camp out has dished out, heat, rain, sleet, or snow, I have never heard Will complain. He has been a powerful role model for us all. Will began in scouting with Troop 84. He crossed over in the Arrow of Light ceremony and then attended his first summer camp at Bartle with Troop 84. That summer, Peter Bode, who's here today, told Will about Troop 16, and Will decided Troop 16 would be his new troop, and we're certainly glad that he did. Will has earned 30 merit badges on his way to Eagle, and his favorite was rifle shooting. Will mentioned to me that he couldn't pick a favorite memory. There were just too many. However, one thing that stood out for him was seeing his troop rally around him and support him during his Eagle Scout project. For his project, Will cleaned and repaired a Native American cemetery, but Will went beyond just cleaning up the grounds. He spent time researching how and why a remote Native American cemetery had seemingly been left abandoned. In doing so, Will was able to connect living relatives with their ancestors and give them knowledge of their own family history. His project ultimately became a nominee for the National Eagle Project of the Year Award. Needless to say, Troop 16 is very proud of his accomplishments. Will is a Brotherhood member of the Order of the Arrow and is Tom-Tom Beater Careful Elk in the tribe of Mickasay. As someone who enjoyed teaching and leading younger scouts, Will's favorite role was patrol leader. His favorite campout was visiting the salt mines in Kansas where scouts were able to camp underground. I'm now going to present Will and his parents with his Eagle neckerchief, badge, and accompanying pins. Will, I have a pin for your mother. You may pin this on her. We have a pin for your father. And Chris, I have a eagle pin for you to pin on Will. Yeah, 2 bags. Right there. This one has 2 backs. We want to make sure it doesn't fall off. It's pretty important. There we go. Oh, I know. Nicely done. And lastly, Will, we have a mentor pin for you to present to your mentor at such time you feel is ready. And inside the case, we have your Eagle Scout patch that you can proudly wear on your uniform. Congratulations, Will. Next, I would like to invite Peter Bode and his parents to join me here on stage. One of Troop 16's favorite campouts is a 20-mile bike ride, usually taken on the Katy Trail just outside Rocheport, Missouri. We typically ride in the spring, just after the first year scouts cross over from the pack. So it's a good time to get to know one another and to form new friendships. For Peter, this friendship arrived in the form of a little dog who wanted to help him set up his tent. Like many scouts, Peter was eager to set up his tent and get out on the trail. He quickly pitched the tent and tossed in his gear. But in his haste, he forgot to zip the door to his tent. While Peter was out riding, his new canine friend helped himself to Peter's junk food stash. Later that evening, the dog came back to make amends and was found curled up with Peter and his tent mate the next morning. One of the leaders suggested the dog was ready to be a scout, but Peter was sure he already was. He knew way too much about tents, packs, and food. Either way, the dog sure knew what he was doing. Peter's journey at Scouty began with Pack 16, and he crossed over to Troop 16 in the Arrow of Light ceremony. He has earned 21 merit badges. His favorite leadership role was being a patrol leader. His older brother Nathan, who is also a Troop 16 Eagle Scout, served as senior patrol leader. Peter mentioned it was great having Nathan as a mentor and then being able to add his own style and teaching to leading and teaching younger scouts. He's a brotherhood member of the Order of the Arrow and is warrior Mighty Lightning Strike in the tribe of Neckerchief. For his Eagle Scout project, Peter restored a basketball court at St. Peter and All Saints Church in Kansas City. He sanded and painted 2 basketball goals, attached rims, and cleaned up the court for church youth programs. I'm now going to present Peter and his parents with his Eagle Neckerchief badge and accompanying pins. Here's the mother pin for you to pin on your mother. Okay. across the back. Well, yeah. It's a little sharp. Here's the pin and back for your father. You might be able to return the favor. Next, we have your mentor pin to present to the mentor who helped get you here today. And lastly, we have the Eagle Scout neckerchief with Eagle Scout embroidery. Lastly, we have your Eagle Scout patch. Please join me in congratulating Peter Bode, number 399, Troop 16, Eagle Scout. Next, I'd like to invite Luke Holliday and his parents to please join me on stage. Ever since he joined Troop 16, Luke has enjoyed being outdoors, so much so that as soon as he reached age 14, Luke was headed off to Philmont. While his parents were confident he would have the time of his life, Luke was not 100% sure. After all, this would be the longest he had been away from home, and it involved setting out on an 11-hour drive with older scouts. Not even halfway through the drive, though, Luke had already become fast friends with those older scouts. He was determined to prove his worth in his crew, and he kept pace with boys 2 and 3 years older than him the entire time. Luke absolutely loved the trip. His favorite part was climbing Mount Bode, all 12,441 feet of it. Luke will be returning to Philmont this summer, and this time he will be leading younger scouts. No doubt his experience and love of the area will be infectious. Luke started out in scouting as a Tiger Cub in Pack 16. Crossed over to Troop 16 in the Arrow of Light ceremony. Luke has earned 21 merit badges and has served his troop as quartermaster, assistant patrol leader, and patrol leader. As someone who really enjoys camping and the gear it requires, Luke's favorite leadership role was quartermaster. For his Eagle project, Luke constructed raised garden beds for the Children's Garden, a Montessori school in Roland Park, Kansas. They will be used to teach children about planting both flowers and vegetables, including how to care for them. Luke is a Brotherhood member of the Order of the Arrow and is fire builder, son of Little Blue Shining Star in the tribe of Neckerchief. He has attended summer camp for 6 years. With the exception of Philmont, his favorite campout was visiting Snow Creek in Weston, Missouri, where he and several scouts were able to night ski. It definitely gets cold out there after the sun goes down, but something tells me that this crew had more than enough energy to keep warm. I'm now going to present Luke and his parents with his Eagle neckerchief, badge, and accompanying pins. First, we have the Eagle Scout pin for your mother. I got it. Next, we have the Eagle Scout pin for your father. With your Eagle Scout pin in place, I now have a mentor pin for you to present to your mentor who helped get you here today. And lastly, we will swap the handkerchief. And with the final presentation of your Eagle Scout patch, please join me in congratulating Luke Holliday, number 400, Eagle Scout, Troop 16.
Will Jacob Pantanius' mother please join his dad on stage? So the responsibility of introducing each new Eagle Scout is both a fun and challenging one. And one of the best things about standing up here. It's fun because it's enjoyable to look back on each Scout's time in the troop. Challenging because finding that one perfect story about each Scout can be an exercise in choice. Sometimes it's a choice that it's impossible to make, which is where we are right now. When Jacob had his Eagle Board review, he was so bold as to invite his Scoutmasters, Mr. Olander, Mr. Sproul, and myself. And as we sat down, we started telling stories about Jacob. Mr. Olander remembered Jacob's first year at camp, when he and Charlie Kitchen each received more mail, and more mail from girls, than any scout in the history of Mr. O's roll call, his mail call. During his second year at camp, I remember Jacob being so accident prone, more than any kid that we'd ever seen, so much so that we awarded him the nickname Crash and gave him a protective helmet following camp, one that's on display over at HJ's today, I saw. Mr. Sproul remembered Jacob walking around camp his third year, a wagon of treats trailing behind him. Jacob had become an entrepreneur, selling snacks to those not willing to make that long, hot trek up to the trading post. He even had a slogan, "If you've got a dime, it's gummy time." While those are all pretty funny stories, the one I want to spotlight is Jacob's turn as a Scoutmaster's son. Too often, this responsibility means coming early with your dad to meetings, staying late, and doing all the little things that your dad leans on you to do. We all saw Jacob's leadership as a Scoutmaster's son when Mr. Pantanius took over carrying flags, moving camp boxes, and whatever was asked of him. And we also saw it when we had to move to Zoom meetings as Jacob led by example, wearing his Class A and leading the troop in openings. Well done, Jacob. Your leadership did not go unnoticed. Jacob was a Cub Scout in Pack 16 and earned his Arrow of Light. After crossing over, he's earned 30 merit badges and has served his troop as scribe, patrol leader, and troop guide. He's enjoyed all these roles, but he was appreciated most, at least by his Scoutmaster, as troop guide throughout the pandemic. Jacob provided several demonstrations on setting up tents, outdoor cooking, and first aid all over Zoom to help keep younger Scouts engaged in advancing through 2020. For his Eagle project, Jacob built a 60-foot retaining wall to allow Scraps KC to create a community garden in support of the homeless in Kansas City. Scraps KC sells gently used items and works with homeless volunteers to clean and repurpose these items, which often include school supplies that will be redistributed to disadvantaged classrooms. In exchange for the work, Scraps KC provides homeless volunteers with a homemade meal made with food from the new community garden, which Jacob helped with, and survival items to get them through another day. Jacob is a Brotherhood member of the Order of the Arrow and his warrior Ravenous Raccoon in the tribe of Mickasay. He's looking forward to his 6th year at camp. Jacob was a member of 2 crews that spent a week at sea on 40-foot sailboats at Sea Base in 2019 and is looking forward to a 9-day trip to Philmont this summer that will include a hike up Bode Mountain. I will now present Jacob and his parents with his Eagle Neckerchief badge and accompanying pins. Pin for your mother. Here's a pin for your dad. Oh, and here's a pin for you to put on Jacob. Jacob, this is your mentor pin. Please hold on to that. Find somebody who will help you out and give it to them when you feel the time is right. And now I'm going to give you your Eagle Scout neckerchief. I present to you Jacob Pantanius, the 401st Eagle Scout in Troop 16. I'm now going to ask Morgan Olander to come forward and deliver the Eagle Charge.
Taylor, Will, Peter, Luke, and Jacob, I have the unique honor to give you the Eagle Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in scouting. I've had the privilege of watching each of you grow from the early ranks of scouting to the young men you are today. I welcome you to the Brotherhood of Eagle Scouts. Barely more than 4% of scouts who enter scouting achieve what you have been recognized for today. The requirements are demanding, but fair, requiring perseverance and ability. I'm not here to talk to you of your past, but what your future holds for you. Be proud of earning the rank of Eagle. Each of you have followed the Scout Law on your trail to the Eagle. While those 12 laws have set the foundation for you for life, you will be challenged by outside forces as you get older, and some of you go to college next year. As I was thinking about what to say to you 5 Eagle Scouts, I started reflecting on the past year and realized that 2020 was a memorable year. The entire country was facing the coronavirus, businesses were closed, people had to stay home from school, from work, from church, from seeing their friends. Technology increased. We saw it today. Peter's given his reflection on his phone. People use Zoom meetings to get together. Scouts even had Zoom meetings. and showed highlights from backyard campouts, demonstrations on how to do things. Needless to say, 2020 will be one to remember. Not as the year of the pandemic, but the year each of you persevered and earned the rank of Eagle. Scouting, something that I know that helped me, not only last year, but throughout my life, is not only the 12 points of the Scout Law, which we repeat every Monday night at meetings, but you're not going to have that if you don't go to meetings or if you're going off to college. But it's Coach Bill Snyder's 16 goals for success. For those of you that don't know, Coach Snyder is a Hall of Fame football coach from Kansas State University. He took one of the worst football programs in the United States by changing its philosophy and attitude by implementing the 16 goals of success. I find it interesting that there are 16 goals and we're Troop 16. Think about that for a little bit. These goals will help you be successful in your life. Now, when you go to college, when you graduate, and when you find a job. These goals are as follows. Commitment to common goals and to be successful. You earned the rank of Eagle. Unselfishness. There's no I in team. You were part of a patrol and troop that served as your team. Unity. Come together as never before. Help each other in your patrol and troop. Improve. Every day as a player, a person, and a student. Be tough. Mentally and physically. That reminds you of the Scout Law or Scout Oath? Self-discipline. Do it right. Don't accept less. Don't cut corners on rank requirements or anything else. Great effort. Do your best all the time. Give all your effort. Some of you were taught this in Cub Scouts. Enthusiasm. Be cheerful. One of the points of the Scout Law. Eliminate mistakes. Don't beat yourself, but if you make a mistake, and everybody makes mistakes, learn from it. Never give up. Keep working to complete that merit badge, that rank or project that you started. Don't accept losing. If you do so at one time, it will be easy to do for the rest of your life. No self-limitations. Expect more of yourself. Don't settle for the easy way. You can do anything. Expect to win. Truly believe that you will be successful at whatever you put your mind to. Consistency. Your very, very best every time. Leadership. Everyone can set an example, not just someone that has a patch on his shoulder that says leader. Responsibility. You are responsible for your own performance. The first goal is commitment, and the last is responsibility. Each of you made a commitment to earn the rank of Eagle Scout, and you took the responsibility to finish it, and you did. For the rest of your life, Taylor, Will, Peter, Luke, and Jacob, you travel as a marked man, an Eagle Scout. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle. You've had the Scout Oath and Scout Law as a roadmap. In addition, you earned the knowledge of the Order of the Arrow and the Tribe of Mikkelsay, whose sole aim is to enrich and expand your understanding of the principles of scouting. Duty to God, duty to country, duty to others, and duty to self. Today, I gave you 16 goals to follow because you earned the rank of Eagle Scout in Troop 16. The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To be an Eagle Scout, to an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because honor is important to him, but because of the vital significance of the example it sets for other Scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on his home, his church, his troop, and his community. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed an solemn obligation to live these principles and values. May the white of the Eagle badge remind you always to live with honor. The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to his family, Scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to his troop and brother Scouts make him pitch in and carry his share of the load. You are members of the Brotherhood of Cheerful Service. All of these help to build the loyalty, which means devotion to community, to country, to one's ideals, and to God. Life will give you back what you give others. Let the blue of the Eagle badge always inspire your loyalty. The third obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a Scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for the right. Trusting in God, with faith in his fellowmen, he looks forward to each day, seeking his share to the world's work to do. Let the red of the Eagle badge remind you of courage. Fourth obligation of an Eagle Scout, be cheerful. To remind the Eagle Scout to always wear a smile. Everybody can see the smile on my face now, right? The red, the white, and the blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second class award, which has its ends turned up in a smile. Live with dignity. Remember always your 4 harsh resolutions you made as a tribesman. Live your life with a clean heart and a clear head. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who still toil up Scouting's trail, just as others helped him in his climb to the Eagle. The performance of the daily good turn takes on a new meaning when he enters a more adult life with continuing service to others. The Eagle stands as a protector of the weak and helpless. He upholds the right of others while defending his own. He will always be prepared to put forth his best. Taylor, Will, Peter, Luke, and Jacob, you deserve much credit for having achieved Scouting's highest award. However, Scouting does not need to be over for you. I challenge each of you to stay active with your troop. You have the ability to give back to the younger Scouts and help them to one day earn the rank of Eagle. Wear your award with humility, ever mindful that Eagle Scouts serve as an example. May the Scout Oath and Law be your guide for today and tomorrow, wherever your path may lead. Be proud that you're an Eagle Scout. Congratulations to Taylor Lacy, Will Calvich, Peter Bode, Luke Holliday, and Jacob Pantanius, our 397th, 98th, 99th, 400th, and 401st Eagles of Troop 16. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Olander. As the last person standing between you and the festivities and peach knee-high floats across the street, I'll keep this brief. But I did want to share with you a couple of comments and things that I've seen over the last couple of years. You all have allowed me to be your Scoutmaster for 2 years. And it doesn't seem like it. It's gone by rather quickly. But you certainly have made me feel welcome and proud to be your Scoutmaster and watching you accomplish all the great things that you have accomplished. Last year, as Mr. Olander had mentioned, was unlike any other. None of us knew what we should or could do when the pandemic began, but we knew we couldn't give up. Some troops out there had kind of hit the pause button and said, well, we just can't meet. We don't know what the pandemic's going to bring. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going, as they say, and we figured out how to start meeting over Zoom, and the boys did not miss a beat. I'm very proud of the fact that they jumped right in, were as resilient as they were and committed as they were to the troop. It's a rare thing. Not every troop, again, was like that. And watching them grow through that period has, I believe, in my opinion, made us a stronger troop, stronger than ever before. So over the last 2 years, I think we've had about 2 scouts fall away for one reason or another. And that's not too unlike any normal year for us. Why do any scouts fall away? Well, it turns out this is hard. It's not easy to become an Eagle Scout. It's not something you just wake up and do. You got to put in the effort, and it's a challenge at times. But I think, as you've heard from these young men today, the reward is well worth it. So I want to encourage you to keep doing all the great things that you're doing. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I did not extend our heartfelt appreciation to all of the parents and the adult leaders who give their time and their expertise and their talents to help these scouts be the best that they can be. I've seen them lead each other. I've seen their abilities. They're smarter and more capable than you can even imagine. And truly, it gives me hope that what we see coming in the next generation is going to be fantastic. So we have the next generation of leaders in the room with us today, and I look forward to hearing about all of their great accomplishments as they grow up and into adulthood. So at this time, I'd like to ask that you if you're able to join us across the street. HJ's is open. We're going to have display cases with all of the Scouts' accomplishments and some of their memories, as well as peach knee-high floats, cupcakes, cookies. We're going to load them up with sugar and send them home with you. So please join us. And once again, please congratulate, with one more round of applause, Troop 16's newest Eagle Scouts. Thank you.